It's just business. How my foster family ruined my life. How do foster families profit from children? A true life story. I'm 18 years old, and this morning I was informed that I have to pack up and leave before the end of the week. I'm still in shock. I was taken away from my biological family when I was 7 years old because of the difficult situation with my parents. First, I was placed in foster care, and then I was handed over to a couple whom I will call Peter. This is not their real name. Although I am tempted to disclose their real identity, I will not do this. The Peters have always been kind to me, and since moving in with them as a child, I gradually began to consider them my family. I called them Mom and Dad, treated them like parents, and treated their biological son like a brother. I was not their only adopted child. They also had a 9-year-old boy who stayed with us for a little over a year. They never adopted me, and I understand why. Their income depended on the allowance for foster children. I've never really cared about it. They said that documents don't make us a family, and I believed them. This morning I went to their agency's website and found out that they received at least £2,400 per month for my maintenance, or at least they got. Since my 18th birthday, payments have stopped. However, they applied for my permission to stay, which made it possible to receive a certain amount for my support and accommodation, about £1,000 per month. They said the approval would last until I turned 21, so I was confident that I could stay, at least while I was studying at the university. But today, they sat me down across from them and told me that I needed to leave. According to them, foster care is a business, and they can't afford to support me on this allowance alone. They gave me until the end of the week. 4 days. How generous of them. They need my room because they are planning to adopt a new baby. They stressed that it was nothing personal, as if that makes the situation easier. They said they would still consider me like a son, but not their son, like a son, and that they want to stay in touch. It sounds like a joke. In the end, they just decided to kick me out. An 18-year-old guy with no job, no income, no support, at the moment when I am preparing for university admission, but their biological son, who is 25 years old, can So yes, I think it's clear now. I'm just a person that no one has ever wanted. I don't think I've ever been a real part of the family for them. To be honest, I'm still in a state of shock. My thoughts are confused and I can't concentrate properly. I only slept for 2 hours last night, so maybe I'm a little out of my mind right now too. First of all, I contacted my personal consultant, and he will hold an emergency meeting with me at 1:30 today. Then I'll have more information about what's going to happen to me next. I hope he can help me arrange emergency accommodation. Secondly, to those who say that St. Petersburg cannot just demand that I leave in 4 days, I will definitely mention this to my assistant and ask for advice. I don't want to stay here any longer than necessary, because since they told me that, it's like I've ceased to exist for them. They just look right through me. But I'm not going to leave until I find a safe place to live. I'm not going to be homeless. Thirdly, about the university, I have an offer from them, but it is valid only on the condition that I get my predicted A-levels. I hope that this will be the case, but since I haven't officially enrolled yet, I'm not sure if they can provide me with any support. Finally, I intend to achieve the termination of the payment of my living allowance. I'll tell my assistant about it today. If I don't live with them, they shouldn't get it. Fortunately, I have some small savings. People are saying that maybe I can apply for a scholarship when I start university, as well as get a student loan for living expenses that will help me survive. I've already started looking for a job. Update. Hi everybody, I just got home and I feel incredibly tired, so this will be a short report. I had a long meeting with my assistant today. He was very sympathetic and upset about what the Peters had done to me. We talked first, then I went to get something to eat while he discussed the situation with them directly. After that, we met again and he told me about everything that had been discussed. I was put on the list for social housing. Hopefully, it won't be too long before I can get my own place. I made an appointment because lack of sleep and perhaps the characteristics of my dyslexia or autism make it difficult for me to remember long conversations. Tomorrow, when I get some rest, I'll listen back to the recording to refresh the details. As far as I understand, they will help me pay the rent, as well as allocate some money for furniture and furnishing. When the assistant talked to the Peters, I didn't fully understand whether he ordered them to keep me for a while or just asked for it, but they agreed that I could stay with them until the end of August. This means that I won't have to move out urgently in 3 days. The assistant also suggested the option of a youth hostel if it would be uncomfortable for me to stay with the Peters until the accommodation was available. But I decided that it would be better to stay here, even if it would be a little awkward. The assistant said that the Peters would continue to receive unemployment benefits until I officially moved out, and then the payments would stop. On a completely different topic, today I had a serious argument with my best friend. He said I was ungrateful, and to be honest, his words hurt me a lot. I thought that of all people, he would understand me and what I was going through. Maybe not. Maybe I'm reacting too emotionally. I'm terribly tired, and maybe I just can't control my feelings right now. I'm going to talk to him tomorrow when I get some sleep. I hope the argument will subside because I really need him right now. It seems to me that I have no one else besides him. By the way, I didn't have time to read all the comments. I didn't expect there to be so many of them. Thanks to everyone who expressed their support. It's really very valuable to me, and I'm truly grateful. Relevant comments. I'm glad that everything is working out. Don't worry about your friend. You're in survival mode right now. You're trying to make sure you're not on the street. I hope everything will work out for you. He said I should be grateful that they kept me for so long anyway. What the Ford? I'm not a pet. He also said some other things, like how good it was that they were going to help another kid like me, which is true, and I understand that it's a good thing they're doing to help people. But do his words really make me feel crazy? If I want to stay like they promised me, I'm too tired, and maybe I'm being unreasonable. I'm going to talk to him again tomorrow and apologize. A long and possibly minor tirade. July 26th. It never bothered me that they were being paid for my upkeep. To be honest, I hadn't thought about it at all. I always knew that I was an adopted child, but it wasn't until I was 15 that I found out that they were being paid for my custody, and then I told myself that it was okay. Maybe it was. I had parents who took care of me for 11 years. More than some people can say. I just never thought that they would force me to move out as soon as the payments decreased. I recently found out that when I was a child, they received £111.82 a day for my maintenance. That's £40,080 for my £14 a year. I've never felt like a stranger in this family. I have always been confident in their love and protection. I don't understand what has changed. Now they don't even look me in the eye. I feel it so acutely that I hardly leave my room, because outside of it, I feel only the absence of the love that was before. We used to have a rule: if I don't go down to my food, then I go without it. But now Mom just leaves the plate at the door and knocks, saying that the food is there. I've replayed this moment in my head 1,000 times, trying to convince myself that they still care about me. Yesterday, when I came home, for the first time, I didn't call her Mom, but just Claire. She looked upset, and part of me is glad, but the other part feels cruel. I knew it would hurt her, but I did it anyway. In a way, I want her to feel my pain, so that she would suddenly realize that she had made a mistake and tell me that she loved me and wanted me to stay. But if it were possible, it would have already happened. I don't think I'm worth the £76 a day they're losing by leaving me instead of taking another foster child. When it gets hard for me because I'm hurting them, I remind myself they decided to kick me out so they could get that extra £76 a day. That's what I'm worth to them. £76 a day. Relevant comments. I don't think I'm worth the £76 a day they're losing by leaving me instead of taking another foster child. When it gets hard for me because I'm hurting them, I remind myself they decided to kick me out so they could get that extra £76 a day. That's what I'm worth to them. £76 a day. Relevant comments. I don't expect anyone to read this or care, but I want to say thank you for the great love that you all have shown me. I feel nothing but gratitude to all of you. Whereby TA, if I go to North Carolina with the family that raised me for 11 years, July 26, I will try to summarize the essence as briefly as possible. I 18M was 7 years old when I was taken away from my biological family and placed in the foster system. As a result, I ended up with a family that I will call Peters, and they have been raising me since then, from the age of 7 to the present day. The Peters always said that I could stay with them as long as necessary because I considered them my family. They even applied for a travel ban, which allowed them to continue receiving about £250 per month for the support of a former foster child, that is me, after the 18th birthday. I believed that their words were sincere. Their biological son is 25 years old. He still lives with them, although he does not work. He graduated from university 2 years ago. They told me that I had to leave by the end of the week because they wanted to adopt a new foster child. I was shocked. I had to contact my social worker, who talked to the Peters. After that, they agreed to keep me until the end of August, but the atmosphere in the house has completely changed. I explained all this to my best friend and said that I was thinking of going to North Carolina with them after moving. He started shouting that I was ungrateful towards them because they had raised me for 11 years and now they wanted to help another child who found himself in the same situation as me. I understand that, and that's why I feel guilty. Now my friend doesn't talk to me, calling me an egotist for wanting to stay with the Peters, as I was promised, and for deciding to send me away with just a few days' notice. There were options that would have allowed me to move on to independent living before the age of 18, but they weren't used because they always said I could stay. The only time I really needed a friend's support, he just wasn't there. Now I feel lonely, and I don't understand why he took their side and not mine. I understand that they want to help another child, but it pains me to realize that they had to kick me out for that. When I suggested to my friend that they could ask their biological son to move out instead of me, he called me selfish. I'm still not sure if I'm going to North Carolina. I just said that I was thinking about it, but I wish I hadn't said it, because I didn't expect it to cause such a conflict. Relevant comments. Poor kid, your friend is, but you certainly aren't. Even if there is another child who is waiting and in desperate need, they could and should at least let you plan ahead, more than a few days ahead, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Are you foster parents at least helping you find a place? Edit to add that you should inform someone at the university about this. I don't know how it's done where you are, but some universities have programs for such things. Dude, my cousin used to adopt children. She adopted 3 sisters and another girl. I use the words used to because she adopted them, since she wasn't in, if because of the money. I don't even care that they looked after me and got paid for it. I don't care about that. I never knew how much they got for looking after me, but I knew they were getting paid. It hurts and offends me that they kick me out for the difference of £70-something a day. The Peters found my posts on Reddit. July 27, 2024. The Peters' son, Jamie, found my original post on Reddit. I think I should have been more careful with the details, but at that moment, I was so excited that I couldn't think straight. I'm not sure how he discovered it, but considering that the post has almost 10,000 votes in favor, and Jamie introduced me to Reddit himself, maybe it just appeared in his feed. Does anyone know if this could happen because we are on the same network or in the same place? Jamie came into my room a few hours ago. He showed me my post and asked if I had written it. At first, I tried to deny it, but I'm a terrible liar, and he immediately realized the truth. He asked why I hadn't told him about everything earlier, and I replied that I thought he already knew. Jamie said he had no idea and would never have supported his parents if he had known they were just kicking me out. They told him that I had asked him to move out. He looked shocked when he read the details of the post. Against my wishes, he sent a post to a family group chat. He did it in an attempt to protect me. Mum, Dad, I really think you should read this and understand the impact it has on. But I'd rather he didn't. They both read the message, but no one answered. I haven't left the room since then. I'm feeling very anxious right now, as if I'm on the verge of a panic attack. It seems that she is already close. Relevant comments. Stay calm and know that you haven't done anything wrong. They may try to deceive you. They can lie to your brother. They don't have a good reputation for being decent people, but no matter what they do, remember that you haven't done anything wrong. They can't kick you out because of that. They've learned their lesson. I'm glad your brother didn't agree with their terrible decision, and I'm glad he found out about it. The fact that he hasn't looked you in the eye in the last couple of days could have something to do with the tension already in the air, and the fact that he thought you just got up and wanted to leave. I hope they realize their mistakes and apologize generously. But be prepared for the fact that this will not happen, and that they may be upset because you took the trash out of the hut. They may try to make you feel guilty and blame everything on you. They might not do anything. Please remember, no matter what they say, and no matter what your ex-best friend says, you did nothing wrong. Your feelings are justified. You deserve to be loved. You didn't deserve what they did to you. What I'm going to send to a family group chat. Is this a bad idea? July 28th, 2024. Matt and Claire. I came to you at the age of 7, a little boy who had never felt love, affection, or anything remotely like caring. Since childhood, I have been taught to be afraid of those who have power, to be afraid of sudden changes in the mood of my biological parents. I was taught to restrain my emotions, hide the pain, and never show that I feel bad. When I first came to your house, my life was ruled by fear and anxiety. I know that my behavior was difficult at the time, and it wasn't easy to deal with it. I was taught that there may be no consequences for some actions, and for others there may be cruel and severe punishment. But the scariest thing was that there were no clear rules. One day I could be praised for something, and the next day I could be punished for the same thing. Love wasn't something permanent. It was something that needed to be earned. It was conditional and superficial. You showed me another way. You taught me what love and affection are, and at first it seemed strange and incomprehensible to me. I didn't see myself as anything but a hindrance, and I couldn't understand why anyone would care about me. I couldn't understand why you weren't punishing me. Do you remember how I said, "Can you punish me if I misbehave? I won't mind." But you showed me that the world works differently. Gradually, I learned to trust and accept love. You made it clear to me that no matter what happens, you won't turn your back on me. You won't kick me out or hate me. I was trying to check it out. I know, I was scared. You helped me realize that it wasn't my fault that I ended up in the foster care system. It's not my fault what happened to my family. You showed me how to deal with my fears in a different way. You have shown me love, compassion, and kindness. The first day I really felt safe was when I was 8 years old, sitting in your arms and watching Shrek. I still remember that moment. It may have been just an ordinary day for you, but for me, it's one of the most important memories in my life. This is the moment that shaped the way I see myself. You were there when I was worried about going to high school. You supported me when my own mom said she didn't want to be a part of my life anymore. You comforted me when you broke up with me at the age of 15, and it seemed to me that my world was falling apart. You inspired me to go beyond my studies and strive for more. But the most important thing you've taught me is that I deserve love and respect. You never gave up I am who I am today because of you. When I look at myself, I see compassion, care, and kindness, and I see you in those features. You weren't my real family, but you were my family, my only. And now, I just don't understand what has changed. Why did everything suddenly become different? Why did you stop being the loving and caring parents you were? Now, when I leave my room, I no longer feel the warmth that once helped me get out of childhood fears and pain. It seems like you've started to see me differently, and I just can't figure out why. A few days ago, you told me that I had to move out. I had only 4 days to leave my family. Once again, I felt like that 7-year-old child filled with fear and insecurity. I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty or to ask you to leave me. It doesn't matter anymore. It's just that, unfortunately, I'm not sure I'll ever be able to see you the same. I would understand if it was about money or if you wanted to help another child, like me. But why didn't you talk to me? Why did I just put it in front of the fact and then started acting like my feelings didn't mean anything? Why did you tell me it was just a case? Did you really think it would hurt less? From the moment you told me that, my world has turned upside down and I do not know how to cope. If I had felt like this a few weeks ago, do you know who I would have gone to? To you. I would tell you about my worries, and you would find the right words, and then we would just sit together and watch some stupid TV show. And now I have no one. I feel like this is the second time in my life I've been told that I don't deserve a family. Only now there's no one around to pull me off the edge. It's always been you, Mom and Dad. I could always rely on you. Why are you rejecting me now? Relevant comments. Send them this. Let them know that you feel like they hurt you and that they can't expect you to ever contact them again after you leave. They need to know how you feel. Send them this, and if you want, leave GC. Because they can try to justify their actions, and you don't need to hear it. The saddest thing is that I don't even think I want to. I want them to love me again. I've contacted my assistant, and I'm moving out today. July 29th, 2024. My assistant allowed me to leave things that I can't take with me in his garage. This is a very kind act on his part. He also found a place for me at a local hostel. Apparently, I will have a separate room, which was a crucial factor in making the decision to move. This hostel cooperates with Los Angeles and accepts graduates of foster families while they are waiting for their own housing. I haven't sent the message yet, but I know my foster brother Jamie saw it. Yesterday, I was overwhelmed with emotions, but today they are not. I don't know which is worse. I'll send you a message as soon as I finally leave. I've been allocated a room, so I'm leaving in a few hours. I still haven't talked to them, but I can't stand it anymore. I'm tired of worrying and being nervous about all this. I think they got their 4-day notice after all. I just left the Peters house for the last time. The room in the hostel is already ready for me. I feel strange right now, sad and lonely. I ordered a pizza for dinner, and my assistant even paid for it. I just want to go to bed and cry. My head is full of thoughts about everything else that needs to be done. Wish me luck. I want to make something clear. I was hurt and shocked when I wrote my first post, but I never had the right to adopt. Initially, the ultimate goal was to bring me back to my family. When it became clear that this would not happen, I did not want to adopt myself, as I wanted to maintain legal ties with my biological family. The Peters always said it didn't matter, and that they loved me anyway. Maybe it wouldn't have changed anything, or maybe it would have changed. They were paid bi-weekly for my care, £1,565 for 18th, which is £40,702.48 per year. That's about £52,295. I think about this figure all the time. Was that really what I was? I wonder what I would change if I could go back in time. I'm staying in a hostel now. It's not a luxury, to put it mildly, but at least I have a roof over my head. I sent the message slightly changing the text that I wrote yesterday, and then he left the family chat. I also posted it on Facebook. It was probably wrong. I don't know. Last update. This will be my last post about all this. I want to leave everything behind. Claire called me in tears. She said she didn't know I felt this way. How could she not know that? She cried, apologized, and begged me to come back. God, how could I ruin everything like that? She said she was sorry about the last few days and wanted to fix everything. I said it wasn't fair. She can't kick me out and then call and cry. This is manipulation. But she just kept apologizing. She said she loved me and wanted me to come home. That's a lie, right? She should have known. Am I a bad person? I'm confused and don't know what to do. I just hung up, and when she started texting me, I blocked her. But now it seems to me that I did the wrong thing. I'm so tired. From all of this, I don't want anything to do with them. I don't think Reddit is good for me. I'm not sure if any of this helps me. I'm deleting the app. Forgive me. Relevant comments. I've been following your updates while you've been posting them, OP, and I want to tell you that I'm really sorry that you're going through this, that you deserve better, and that you're so strong in a situation that you shouldn't be in. I'm glad your dad is helping you, and I wish you nothing but success and happiness. I was thinking of contacting my biomass. The last time I talked to it was when I was a teenager. But I think it might just be looking for something that would make me feel more vulnerable, and I don't think I could take any more rejection towards something bigger and better. The Peters already have a new adopted boy living with them. July 31. When I expressed concerns that the same thing could happen to him as to me, I was told that they would now be provided with additional guidance and support when the children reach 17-18 years old, and that everyone was aware of the stay-in-place orders. That's all, nothing else, just an additional guide. Doesn't that sound like a slap in the face at all? My assistant said that. Unfortunately, they had every right to ask me to leave after I turned 18. I told them how they called it a business decision, and I heard that, unfortunately, finance does play a role in such matters. That's it? Am I just a financial decision? Does this system seem fair to anyone? I think I'm going crazy. Shouldn't there be some kind of punishment for that? I'm not saying they should be banned from being a foster family, but I don't know. I'm still confused. My mind is just tearing up. I keep telling myself that I don't want to think about it anymore, but I have no one to share it with. Jamie, no matter how good he is, can't understand me, and my friend just doesn't understand at all. August 7, 2000. It's been a while since my last post, and I'm not even sure why I'm writing this now. It's just that it's very hard for me today, although it would seem I should feel happy. First, I want to clarify something. You might have noticed that I deleted everything here. It was done intentionally because I want to move on. I haven't spoken to anyone from the Peters family since Jamie and I had a fight. If he posts anything else, please don't reply to anyone. He's just looking for attention. If anyone has copies of what he wrote, I would appreciate it if they were deleted and not distributed anywhere else. He just wanted to hurt me by sharing the most shameful moments from my childhood. I understand if someone doesn't want to support me after that. Just know that I'm really sorry for everything I've done in the past. I'm not the person I was back then. I never wanted to offend or mislead anyone. The Peters already have a new foster child. I have already mentioned this, but when I asked them to record in the reports that they kicked me out without warning, they told me that now they would simply be given additional guidance on preparing children for independent living. I do not know what to think about it. It just seems like a formality, but at least they'll be looked after when their next adopted children turn 18. Today, I have some good news. My assistant contacted the university that was my first choice. He studied there himself and somehow managed to get my conditional offer converted to an unconditional one. This means that regardless of my A-levels grades, I will still be able to study there. I do not know how he did it, but I am so grateful. The university also explained what kind of support I would receive as a graduate of the guardianship system. They provide me with free housing for the first year, which relieves a lot of stress because I didn't know how I was going to get to school at all. They will also lower my first year passing grade. I hope I won't need it because I want to study well, and give me a starter pack with important things. Despite all this, I don't feel any joy. I try not to show it, but I'm scared to start university. The Peters used to help me with these things, especially Claire. I feel like I've lost a part of myself. It's probably stupid, but in recent days I've just been walking and watching their house from afar. They didn't know I was there, but I could see them sitting in the living room as everything was going on. The new foster child was with them. I literally sat there for hours, just watching. I want to go and talk to them, but I know it's a bad idea. I shouldn't want them back, but I feel really isolated. Perhaps that's why I came back here to write this post. By the way, I do not give my consent to the re-uploading of this post or any other content that I have posted on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube. My first posts were uploaded to TikTok and Facebook, where they gained over 250,000 views. It makes me uneasy to think that people are using my story to make money. I understand that, most likely, this will not stop those who are already doing this. But if someone sees such publications in the public domain, know that I do not approve of them.